Each morning, the routine begins the same way. Heavy eyelids, a foggy gaze, and an instinctive reach toward a nightstand for a pair of glasses. A few blinks later, the world sharpens, and this cycle gets accepted as a normal part of growing older. Blurred vision, trouble seeing at night, or struggling to read in low lighting all get chalked up to age. We assume our eyes are simply deteriorating over time, the way any heavily used object eventually wears down. But this kind of passive thinking overlooks an important biological reality. There's an ongoing process happening inside your eyes every night while you sleep, and most people are completely unaware of it. The retina, which is a light-sensitive tissue at the rear of the eye, has the highest metabolic rate of any tissue in the entire human body. It consumes oxygen even faster than the brain does. This intense metabolic activity generates waste in the form of oxidative stress. When the body is unable to clear this biological rust efficiently during sleep, the damage builds up over time. This is not simply a matter of aging. It reflects a nightly shortfall in the eye's repair process, one that can eventually lead to lasting vision damage. My name is Brian Caldwell. Over the past 35 years, I have worked in geriatric healthcare, supporting older patients through the challenges of aging with strength and dignity. My purpose today is to share practical, medically grounded information that can help you preserve your eyesight well into your later years. Before we continue, I would genuinely enjoy knowing a bit about who is watching. Please take a moment to leave a comment sharing your age and the country you are joining from. Seeing a worldwide community of older adults taking charge of their health is truly motivating, and I make every effort to personally read and respond to as many comments as possible. If this is your first visit to the channel, consider liking this video and subscribing to stay up to date. When conversations about vision health arise in the context of aging, the focus almost always lands on symptoms. Stronger lenses, magnifying aids, or surgical procedures for cataracts. These interventions certainly have their role, but they rarely address what is actually happening at the metabolic level inside the eye. Through decades of clinical experience, a clearer picture has emerged. Specific nutrients, delivered at the right time, can meaningfully support the eye's overnight repair process. We are going to examine 7 particular fruits that contain the precise biochemical compounds your retinas require. These are not arbitrary choices. Each one was selected based on its known interaction with ocular physiology. Let us begin. The first fruit is one that tends to be undervalued in Western nutrition, yet holds a respected place in nutritional ophthalmology. The gold kiwi. In clinical practice, it helps to think of food not merely as fuel, but as chemical instructions delivered to the body. The gold kiwi delivers very specific instructions to the eye through 2 compounds, lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoids that accumulate in the macula, which is a central region of the retina responsible for sharp, detailed vision. They act like internal sunglasses, filtering high-energy blue light and neutralizing free radicals produced by daily UV exposure. As the body ages, the natural concentration of these pigments gradually decreases, leaving the delicate photoreceptors increasingly vulnerable. Regular consumption of gold kiwis helps restore this protective layer. The gold variety is specifically recommended for adults over 60 because it is less acidic than the green kiwi. Many older patients deal with acid reflux or heartburn, particularly when lying down, and the gold kiwi is easier on the digestive system while offering comparable nutritional value. Additionally, this fruit contains compounds that serve as precursors to serotonin, a neurotransmitter involved in regulating sleep. Since the eye's tissue repair is most active during deep sleep, this mild sleep-supporting effect creates a useful biological advantage. Eating 2 gold kiwis approximately 1 hour before bed is the recommended approach. One detail worth noting: the thin layer just beneath the skin of the gold kiwi is rich in caffeic acid, a potent antioxidant. The smoother skin of the gold variety can be washed and consumed, or at a minimum, the flesh should be scooped out as close to the skin as possible to avoid discarding its most nutrient-dense portion. Shifting from pigment protection to circulation, the next fruit targets one of the most overlooked causes of morning visual haziness: dehydration and sluggish blood flow. That fruit is watermelon. It is easy to think of watermelon as nothing more than a refreshing seasonal snack, but from a biochemical standpoint, it functions as a vascular support agent. As people age, the body's thirst response becomes less reliable. The result is a persistent, low-grade state of dehydration that many older adults do not even notice. The eye is a fluid-dependent organ. The vitreous humor that maintains its shape is approximately 99% water. When overall hydration levels fall, the vitreous can contract and place tension on the retina, leading to visual disturbances such as flashes and floaters. Beyond its water content, watermelon is a rich source of citrulline. The body converts citrulline into arginine, which in turn serves as a building block for nitric oxide, a natural vasodilator that signals blood vessel walls to relax and expand. For the aging eye, this is especially significant. The capillaries supplying the retina are extremely small, and any degree of arterial stiffening will restrict their flow first. By raising nitric oxide levels naturally before sleep, these critical channels for oxygen and nutrient delivery are effectively widened. To maximize this benefit, it is important to consume the right part of the fruit. The highest citrulline concentration is found in the white rind, the section most people discard. Blending a small portion of the rind together with the red flesh is the most efficient approach. One important caution: avoid adding salt to your fruit. Excess sodium can raise intraocular pressure, which is a significant risk factor for glaucoma. The goal is to support blood flow, not increase pressure. There's a specific term in medicine for how quickly the eyes adapt when moving from a bright environment into a dark one: dark adaptation. For many adults over 60, this adjustment takes noticeably longer than it once did, long enough to become a safety concern when walking into a dim room or driving through a tunnel. This delayed response is often linked to slowed regeneration of rhodopsin, a pigment found in the rod cells that is essential for night vision. The fruit that addresses this issue is the black currant. Less common in standard grocery stores than everyday fruits, black currants are functionally exceptional when it comes to eye circulation and rhodopsin support. They contain a concentrated form of anthocyanins that have been shown to relax the ciliary muscle, the muscle responsible for adjusting the shape of the lens, which helps relieve eye fatigue. More critically, for older adults, these compounds support blood flow to the optic nerve head. The optic nerve serves as a primary connection between the eye and the brain. In conditions like glaucoma, this nerve is progressively damaged, often due to elevated pressure or inadequate blood supply. Consuming black currants regularly helps maintain the microcirculation that keeps this vital pathway functioning. Fresh black currants are ideal, but a high-quality extract or frozen product is a perfectly valid alternative. Consistency is what matters. Eating a small portion or taking a supplement in the evening ensures these anthocyanins remain active in the bloodstream throughout the night, supporting the optic nerve during the hours when intraocular pressure naturally shifts. The next fruit requires an important distinction. When blueberries are recommended for eye health, the reference is not to the large, commercially grown varieties typically sold in plastic containers with pale white interiors. The fruit being discussed is the wild blueberry, and the difference is not simply cosmetic. It is biochemical. Wild blueberries have a much higher ratio of skin to pulp, and because anthocyanins are concentrated in the skin, they carry nearly double the antioxidant capacity of cultivated blueberries. But the most significant compound in wild blueberries for vision health is pterostilbene. Structurally related to resveratrol, the compound commonly associated with red wine, pterostilbene is considerably more bioavailable. Crucially, It has the ability to cross the blood-retinal barrier, a physiological checkpoint designed to shield the eye from toxins, but which also blocks many therapeutic agents. Pterostilbene passes through this barrier and acts directly within retinal cells to support DNA repair. Photoreceptor cells are neurons, meaning they do not regenerate easily. Over a lifetime of exposure to sunlight and digital screens, the DNA within these cells accumulates errors. Pterostilbene activates the cellular repair mechanisms that address these errors before they cause permanent cell death, essentially functioning as a maintenance crew for the genetic material in your eyes. Purchasing wild blueberries frozen is recommended, as they are harvested at peak ripeness, and the freezing process helps break down cell walls, making the nutrients more readily available during digestion. Red dragon fruit. The next fruit may look unfamiliar, but for the aging eye, it provides a two-part benefit. The vivid magenta flesh of red dragon fruit gets its color from betalains, antioxidants that help protect blood vessels from oxidative damage. But perhaps more important are the tiny black seeds embedded throughout the fruit. These seeds are rich in omega-3 and omega-9 fatty acids. The reason fatty acids matter so deeply to eye health is that photoreceptor cells contain the highest concentration of omega-3 fats of any cell in the body. These fats keep the cell membrane fluid and permeable, allowing nutrients to enter and waste products to exit efficiently. When dietary fat intake is insufficient, these membranes become rigid, effectively cutting off the cell from the resources it needs. To benefit from the seeds, they must be chewed thoroughly. Swallowing them whole will result in them passing through the digestive system without releasing their nutrients. This fruit addresses retinal hypoxia, a state in which the retina is deprived of adequate oxygen, by supporting both blood vessel health through betalains and cellular membrane integrity through fatty acids. Half a red dragon fruit, consumed approximately 1 hour before sleep, is the recommended portion. Goji berry. Among the most significant threats to independence in later life is age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. This condition progressively damages central vision, eventually making it impossible to read, drive, or identify faces. The goji berry is one of the most concentrated dietary sources of zeaxanthin available. While many foods contain trace amounts of this nutrient, goji berry is provided in an esterified form that the body absorbs with ease. Zeaxanthin is a pigment that shields the macula, the part of the retina that absorbs the greatest intensity of incoming light. Increasing goji berry intake has been clinically observed to raise macular pigment optical density, which in practical terms means thickening the eye's natural protective layer. One practical challenge with goji berries is texture. The dried form can be difficult for older adults to chew and digest properly. Soaking 2 tablespoons of dried berries in warm water for approximately 10 minutes before eating rehydrates them, making them gentler on the teeth and easier for the stomach to break down, while also improving nutrient release. The top fruit on this list targets a different part of the eye entirely: the lens. Cataract formation, the progressive clouding of the lens, is a leading cause of blindness and is largely driven by protein denaturation and a process called glycation, in which sugar molecules attach to proteins, causing them to become stiff and opaque. Papaya contains papain, a proteolytic enzyme that assists the body in breaking down misfolded proteins and reducing the inflammation associated with glycation. Papaya is also rich in vitamin C, a nutrient found in high concentrations within the aqueous humor, the fluid that fills the front chamber of the eye. Low vitamin C levels are strongly associated with cataract development. Eating fresh, ripe papaya delivers the antioxidants the lens needs to remain clear. Adding a squeeze of fresh lime juice enhances this benefit, as the mild acidity helps stabilize the vitamins and improves absorption, particularly for individuals with reduced stomach acid. The 5 rules of absorption. Knowing which fruits to eat is only part of the equation. Without understanding how the body absorbs these nutrients, the benefits are easily lost. Rule 1. Avoid calcium at the same time. Calcium can bind to certain antioxidants and flavonoids in the gut, forming compounds the body cannot absorb. Consuming dairy products or calcium supplements within the same window as your fruit snack can neutralize a significant portion of the beneficial compounds. A gap of at least 90 minutes between dairy or calcium intake and fruit consumption is advised. Rule 2. Include healthy fats. Lutein, zeaxanthin, vitamin A, and vitamin E are all fat-soluble nutrients. Without dietary fat present, a large portion of these compounds will pass through the digestive system without being absorbed. A small amount of fat, a few walnuts, a teaspoon of flaxseed oil, or a thin slice of avocado is sufficient to activate the bioproduction needed for absorption. Studies suggest that pairing these carotenoids with fat can increase uptake by as much as 50%. Rule 3. Wash gently. The highest concentration of antioxidants in fruits like blueberries and black currants sits in the skin and the natural surface bloom. Scrubbing aggressively under hot water removes these beneficial compounds. A light rinse under cool water just before eating is the appropriate method. Washing the fruit well in advance and leaving it wet accelerates mold growth and nutrient degradation. Rule 4. Serve at room temperature. Enzymes such as papain are temperature sensitive. Eating papaya straight from a cold refrigerator dampens enzymatic activity, while cooking destroys it entirely. Removing fruit from the refrigerator 30 to 60 minutes before eating allows it to reach room temperature, restoring enzymatic activity and making it easier to digest, particularly important for older adults with slower gastric function. Rule 5. Time it correctly. The target is to have these nutrients circulating the bloodstream during deep sleep, when the body's repair processes are most active. Eating fruit immediately before sleep risks acid reflux and disrupted rest. Eating it too early means nutrients are metabolized before the repair cycle begins. The optimal window is 60 to 90 minutes before sleep. Enough time for digestion and absorption to occur without interfering with rest. Be understanding how the eye functions at a physiological level and respecting the chemistry of food. It becomes possible to take a genuinely proactive approach to vision health. This is not about dramatic cures. It is about consistently providing the body with the specific tools it needs to repair itself night after night. As always, please consult your personal physician before making significant dietary changes, particularly if you are currently taking medication. Thank you for watching, and here's to clear vision for many years ahead.